Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Soul Sunderland. There's a thing called, supply and demand. And the lower the supply of something, the greater the demand for that thing, right? Which makes sense, and it's an economic principle. Then, you got a thing called fear of missing out, and that's a marketing thing. This is all psychology anyway, kind of. So that's a marketing thing. And then you got a thing called scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset, where you're just so negative about something, you think that it's no more of it left. So as a result of you thinking that there's not enough of it, you behave in unsustainable, antisocial ways. Like people think that there's not enough land on the earth for everybody. There's more than enough land for everybody. People think there's not enough food for everybody. There's enough food for everybody. It's just commercially not available to everyone because there's a profit motive behind it. The food isn't free. So, unfortunately. So, and then people also think that the person they're in a relationship with is the only one for them. Well, that's not really the case. There's 9 billion people on the earth and 4 billion people of the opposite gender that you could choose from. So because you think that the person is the only one, you get all down and you get kind of bugged out, and you kind of have an aggressive kind of, maybe oppressive or depressive. You start to have a lot of negative emotions regarding that relationship or whatever. That's scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is negative. Fear of missing out, that's a dangerous thing in itself, kind of, if you really act on it, invest in it without having some kind of regulation of how you're pursuing the satisfaction of that fear of missing out. But fear of missing out is what gets us caught up in a lot of things that we see in marketing and on television, and we think that, well, these people on this commercial, they look like they're having fun with this product, so I need to get that product too. Fear of missing out, and the other one I was talking about, supply and demand, it's kind of related to scarcity mindset. All those three things are kind of synonymous. So what I was thinking about is I was a rapper passed away today. His name is Rich Homie Quan. So I never, I listened to his songs when he was blowing up big back in like 2014, 2013, 2012, around that time, 2013 and before, and he used to wear afro, and I wanted to grow my afro like his, but I'm a professional, so I work at a day job, so I can't really have my hair looking too crazy. But many times I grew out my hair. He had a little goatee, and his beard doesn't grow like mine, so I kind of a little bit inspired by his goatee. But anyhow, he passed away today, so I was going through YouTube looking at some of his old music, and I saw a comment flash across the screen. Somebody tagged a time in the video and said, "Oh, that girl is beautiful." Like they just tagged a time. They did a timestamp kind of thing, but then it just flashed across the screen. So when I tried to open it to see what person he was looking at, I couldn't find the comment, so I didn't get to see who he exactly that commenter was referring to. So anyhow, I then, went down the rabbit hole of watching some other rap videos, which I really don't want to listen to music too much, and I really don't, try to engage in too much negative music, even though I enjoy it so much. So I ended up watching a Tekashi 6ix9ine video. No, I'm sorry. I watched another Rich Homie Quan song called Ooh Ooh Ooh, right? So he was there dancing. He's a very great dancer. Oh, he was a great dancer. Some people say he's still alive, but who knows? So he is a great dancer. And he was dancing, and you know, he was dancing around some beautiful women. They were walking by, and he was dancing around them. And you saw that these women were relative, you know, what you would call fit, or thin, or you know, what you would call it fit, right? So the reason why that inspired a thought in scarcity mindset is if you look at multiple situations. Actually, I was watching a video yesterday of a guy talking, Eddie Abu, this British guy, this British bodybuilder, former bodybuilder, and he was saying there's guys in the country he's from, Ghana, who view having a big belly as a sign of wealth, as a sign of opulence, right? So now, if you look at old paintings, like old paintings that show like the Greek gods and angels and all kind of stuff like that, and you see the women in those paintings, those women are what we would call nowadays overweight. But during that time, that was the symbol of almost ultimate beauty. These women were, you know, like I said, by today's standards, would be considered overweight. So standards and fashion and all these things change over time. But what I'm thinking, the thing about it is, back in the time when those paintings were drawn and that was a beauty standard, you having the ability to have enough food to even put on the pounds indicated wealth, indicated beauty, and suggested wealth. So it seemed to me that really, when it comes to the beauty standard, it has a connection to supply and demand. If everybody around you is basically starving or sick, they're probably very skinny, working hard. You know, these women, they weren't able to put on pounds because they don't have to work very hard. They're rich. So the typical woman during the time of these paintings was working very hard, went through a lot of sickness, went through a lot of maybe even all kind of issues, and was not able to put on the pounds. But there was a select rare few of women who did have the pounds on, and because they were rare, that made them exceptional, that made them exclusive. Now in our time in America, we have something to the effect of 70-80% people that are overweight, right? And they say 1/3 of those people are obese. So now the rare population are the thin people. So now all of a sudden thin people are cool, you know? So I think it's just, you know, we can't really follow or subscribe to beauty standards, and we have to kind of analyze them in respect to what's going on at the time, you know. So you in a country like Ghana, where a lot of people, you know, are probably still suffering, living in $2 a day. I don't want to be derogatory, but I'm just making an assumption. They having a big belly, as a man with a big belly, indicates that he has leisure time and he has money to feed himself. But now wealth is indicated by people who are fit, people who can afford to go to the gym, people who have the leisure time to go to the gym and the financial wherewithal to be able to afford childcare and go to the gym or whatever. So that's all I really got to say. I can't really come to a conclusion because I got to go, but thanks for listening.